So the Colts are another team that I don't view as a playoff team in 2021. They're sort of like the Pittsburgh Steelers, where I kind of want to give them the benefit of the doubt because of the great culture they have, because of the roster. But I'm just not gonna do that. Okay. First of all, the Colts, from a talent perspective, they're not close to Kansas City. They're not close to Cleveland. They're not close to Buffalo. They're not even close to Tennessee. And right now, today, the Ravens, led by Lamar Jackson and a great defense and improved wide receiver core. I think Baltimore's better. I think the Patriots are a better football team. I think the Chargers improved tremendously. And like I said earlier, teams like the Broncos and the Dolphins have loaded rosters, just questions at quarterback. But from a roster standpoint, those teams have more talent than the Colts. Okay, now, here's the thing. I get it. In 2020, the Colts were a playoff team, and they got in. But here's the thing. They were also a 7th seed. They barely snuck in. And a big reason why the Colts made it into the playoffs was because Philip Rivers played good, efficient football. Okay, he wasn't anything special. 68% completion percentage, 24 touchdowns, 11 interceptions, but Philip Rivers always made the right play. He checked in and out of the right plays. His experience was everything for that team, and Philip Rivers did everything he could to make sure that he did not lose games for the Colts. Okay? Meanwhile, Carson Wentz, he's the exact opposite of Philip Rivers. He's very undisciplined. He makes bad decisions. Will he make big plays? Sure, occasionally, but he'll also throw bad interceptions. He'll also be inaccurate at times. He is not the greatest at reading defenses. And Carson Wentz, in fact, is very unproven. Carson Wentz has never even had back-to-back winning seasons. Okay, never even won a playoff game. And you mean to tell me he's just going to step in and the Colts are going to be this amazing roster, especially coming off a year where Carson Wentz was among one of the worst starting quarterbacks in football? I get it. He'll have solid weapons. He'll have a good offensive line. He'll have a real run game. Frank Wright understands him. But here's the thing. Guys, the Colts are good. They're not great, okay? Outside of Jonathan Taylor and Darius Leonard, there aren't a whole lot of dudes on that roster. There's a lot of good players, but there aren't a lot of guys that I would rate as a 95 overall on Madden. And I understand Madden ratings aren't everything, but at some point, you have to look at the Colts and say, man, from a roster standpoint, they're good, but are they Kansas City good? Are they Cleveland good? Are they Buffalo good? Are they Tennessee Titans good? Are they Baltimore Ravens good? Are they dynamic enough? I don't think so. Okay, not to mention, the schedule is brutal. To start the season, the Colts, they had to play Seattle at home, and then the Rams, then they're at Tennessee, then they're at Miami, then they're at Baltimore, then they play the Texans, and then up next is the 49ers, and then the Titans again. So I'm just going to say this right now. The first 8 weeks of 2021, the Colts will be out of the playoff discussion. I don't think the Colts will make the playoffs in 2021. And not to mention, after that crazy stretch, they still have to play Buffalo on the road. They still have to play the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They still have to play the New England Patriots. And they still have to go on the road and play Arizona, a really good team. So, maybe this year is a bump in the road for Carson Wentz. And Carson Wentz is great after that for the Colts and is their franchise quarterback for the next 10 years. I hope Carson Wentz revives his career with the Colts, but quite frankly, I'm not a big believer. And I don't think the Colts are a playoff team in 2021 for all the reasons that I mentioned. Thank you so much for watching this video today. Please also note that the Juice Alert Sports Podcast is not just a YouTube channel. It is available on all podcasting platforms, including Spotify, Google Podcasts, iTunes, and Apple Podcasts. Also, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share this content with all your friends. This podcast is my favorite thing in the entire world right now. It is my passion. And I want more people to listen to this podcast. I really want this podcast to grow. Also, a fun fact about me is that I want to go into the sports broadcasting and media world once I graduate from the University of Toledo, a college in Northern Ohio. I am looking to become one of the next great sports broadcasters and analysts out in the world. And I potentially would like to start my own network if this podcast really truly grows. Or if I fall short of that goal, I would love to work for a big-time network like ESPN or Fox Sports 1. I am open to all networks. So if you believe in my dreams and you see or hear my passion through the screen, be sure to tell all your friends about the Juice Alert Sports Podcast. Stay motivated, you guys. Have a God bless day, and I'm out.